Everything I am going to say already is on the website. If you go to the website nisxachinty.com, click on tech blog, this will open up. Click on MTF mini LED issues. This page will open up. Everything that I'm going to say is already here, including the references from where these things were taken. So I'm just going to talk about them. Mini LEDs. Okay, many LED issues you should know before buying. Contrary to what people think, I do encourage adopting new technologies. I do so all the time for myself. Okay, but there are things you should know about mini LEDs in particular, which some of which can become a health hazard for a select group of people. Okay, that being PWM. We'll talk about it later. Anyways, also when reading about mini LEDs, they aren't really new tech at all. So once I started writing all this, I went back and I was like, why get mini LEDs at all? Okay, and from a technical perspective, it didn't seem as good. Okay, honestly, in all honesty, I think you should just get OLED if you really want, a brighter, cooler, good looking display with high dynamic range and everything. I think honestly you should get OLED. Anyways, honestly, even though OLED has flaws, I would prefer them over mini LEDs. Yeah, the mini. Okay, so this is from the article. Everything is linked on the site. The mini LED solution is to replace that one big dumb backlight which you have in IPS. It's just one backlight with an active array of much smaller lighting zones. Those zones cause a lot of issues, as you will see soon. Okay, when the hold it where the problem comes in and where mini LEDs isn't as good as some alternatives is precision. Okay, so those dimming zones, those big zones, even if they are small on a laptop, they are quite irritating, as we will see right now. Okay, but OLED and micro LED both have true per pixel lighting control. So if you are if you are getting them for the higher color accuracy, looking good, high dynamic range and true blacks, go with OLED instead of going with mini LEDs. Okay, that's all. Now let me show you what I mean. Let's start with the issues. The first issue is halo effect. Okay, if the backlight can't be turned on some Asus laptops, you can completely turn off the multi-zone backlight. So that special thing that makes it a mini LED, that thing can be turned off. Okay, the color won't look as good, but you won't have these issues. Now this thing isn't available on every laptop, on every brand. So whichever laptop you're considering, make sure it has this. Okay, so a general way of using mini LED is when you are working, when you are gaming, when you are doing any sort of, we will see those things, you turn the backlight off. Okay, you turn this thing that makes mini LED, you turn it off, use it normally. But when you are watching a movie or having a setback, enjoying a scenery game or something like that, then you turn it on. Okay, because then it won't matter as much. Okay, so yeah, you can see when you move the mouse, there is a sort of halo effect behind the mouse whenever you move it. Even on task manager, even so, these show quite a lot, not only when there is a dark mode, but also when there is a dark thing in front of a white background. No, it does look worse in camera than in real life. So what you are seeing here, it is not as bad, but it is bad. Okay, only Asus has this option as of writing this post. Maybe other people have, so do check if they have it or not. If they don't, I would suggest not buying it. Yeah, just not buying it. The reason I'm so harsh is because if you are not able to turn it off, this will become very irritating. Okay, and not only irritating, like in color accurate work or going through document, even normal day-to-day life, you will want to sell the laptop. That's why Apple has a lot of dimming zones. Okay, so that reduces the problem a bit, but it doesn't completely go away. Okay, and not all laptops. Okay, so what's the main important point from here? Check if your device is having this option that you can turn the local dimming zone back on or off or not, and how bad is it, how many local dimming zones are there. These things, either if there is a proper reviewer who has reviewed these aspects of the laptop, you are good to go. But if they haven't, most people don't do this, and they don't care about such stuff. uh, if they haven't, in most cases, go offline, go to a local store, check the laptop there before making your final buying decision. Second thing is driver or stability issues. Now this might not be an issue with every laptop. Okay, so I would say this is a minor thing, but do check some reviews of your laptop before buying it blindly, if your laptop has such issues or not, where the display will completely turn off. Apart from this case, I should cross it out actually, enabling, disabling, even not that, in these things like watching a YouTube video, listening to music. So in normal day-to-day life, I should actually remove this, only these two things: watching a YouTube video, normal day-to-day life stuff. And if the display completely turns off and refuses to come back on, or it's a very long turn off display and you have nothing else to do than to restart your computer. Okay, this was a very common issue in the Acer Star Strix car, whatever, however you call it, that laptop. And the reason I completely rejected that laptop from recommending to anyone, it was due to this, not just the above, but due to this. Now this might not happen in all laptops. Maybe it has been fixed and it's not an issue even with the Asus Strix laptop also. It is your job, whichever laptop you're buying, whichever display you're buying, whichever tablet or anything you're buying, does this have that issue or not? Okay, anyways, vignetting around edges of the screen. Okay, only in the very corners of the screen. Okay, as you can see, only in the very corners this actually happens. Some people might live with it. I think most people will live with it. It's not as big a deal, but you should know that in the edges of the screen you will have this sort of vignette where there is slight dark area, and then a few, basically a few parts of the few centimeter of the display on all the sides. It won't be color accurate, it won't be as bright. Okay, you should know that. Okay, and the only thing even there is to just check it offline. Blooming issues. Now this is the main thing that I wanted to actually talk about. Apart from the first one, it is blooming off issues. So when you move between two tabs, and let's say it has a dark image, there will be a sort of this, the whole image will just completely go off like this in a circle, and then it will come like some of the old CRTs, if you guys remember, sort of like that, but very quickly. Okay, it is not as, so this is a paused screen, it's not as bad as it looks, but it happens very quickly, but it does happen. Okay, people notice it, and you will too. People notice it. That's sort of, I think, it will happen with LEDs. Okay, so this is a picture from a MacBook actually. Same thing, if you try to scroll and there is a big image, it will leave these sorts of halo effect. Okay, now personal preference is one thing. Okay, so you might not like it, it's all right, but some people, there are a certain group of people who are actually affected by this. Okay, this and PWM, two things. Okay, when switching tabs, I'm not going to read this, you can read it yourself, but I'm going to tell you the main point. There are two things: this, so backlight thing, and the PWM. Okay, so PWM is a topic on its own, but I will make a video on it later. But the main thing is that the lights turn on and off very quickly to give you an illusion that the display is dimmer. Quite common thing with OLED, very common thing with OLED, AMOLEDs, and they try to, the frequency, there is a certain brightness. Okay, so like let's say 40 or 50% brightness depending on the device, below which this activates. Okay, below which this activates. So uh, the thing is, not everyone is affected by it. Okay, you don't know if you're affected by it unless you try it out yourself. So unless you have used OLEDs for a long time, unless you have used display devices, and it doesn't have to be OLED, that have PWM in it in less than a certain brightness percentage, and you are sure that you do not have this problem, only then go ahead and buy the laptop. Okay, or be ready, or if you have a return, that's excellent. Okay, so only consider a laptop, okay, with the mini LED when you know that you are not affected by PWM in the first place. When you know that, okay, and it's a thing you can't really, you unless you try it, you can't say. A few ways to know, I think. Okay, this might be difficult, but yes, the old bulbs, CFL bulbs, or the new tubes that have come, the LED tubes, most of them have, not all of them, the older one actually, they used to flicker a lot. And some people, and this is, I don't know if it's people have, I can't say about outside India, but India, when these things were new, everyone had those lights. Before that, we were using the tungsten bulbs. Okay, so tungsten bulbs, no one had some issues reading, but many kids, when they were studying under the tube lights, we call them the circular tube light, the older one, or the CFL lights, they used to get eye strain a lot, or they used to get headaches a lot. That was due to PWM, that flickering of light. Okay, and uh, if you had that, maybe you are affected by it, maybe rejected. But the best way, whatever, everything that I said in this video, every issue that I showed, the only way you will know it if you actually visit the store. Okay, try using the machine you are buying for a few hours. That's the only way I can say. Mini LED laptops, mini LED displays, mini LED anything are not cheap. Okay, so you should take your time, and you must take time to make a decision on that. Okay, I don't think anyone will bat an eye if you spend too long a time on the store before making a final purchase. I know salespeople are irritating, and they just want you to buy it and move on, but don't fall for that. Okay, say I'm going to spend so much money on this thing, I need to test if I am affected by PWM or not, if there are issues with the display or not, only then I will make the purchase. Okay, that's one way. Second, let's say you don't get such things offline, go online, try to find as many reviews as you can, and find those genuine people who talk about such issues. Okay, not just the mainstream people. Most mainstream tech people have become uh, marketing guys for the brand. Anyways, so yeah, that's all. See you guys next time.